going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the newly rebranded Stay Within podcast. I'm joined by my co-host, the legend Jermel Charlo. How are you, man?
Listen, man, feeling good, feeling great. You heard it here, folks. Hashtag STAYWEIGHEDIN. A little shuffle the name, a little rebrand, a little refresh, a little restart, but we're still coming back and better. Word to Bryson Tiller. So, yeah, man, it's been a good weekend of boxing. So it's got me in a good mood, feeling good, feeling great.
I was gonna say different little rebrand, but same topics as always. Straight into
Same hashtags, all of that stuff.
And let's go with it. PBC. We talked about the summer spring card, and one of the fights we highlighted was this fight at 154 between Jermell Charlo and Brian Castaño. Charlo with a 10th round TKO victory, claiming all the belts at 154, the first person ever to do this. So I want to talk about that fight first. What did you see in Charlo in fight 2 that you didn't see in fight 1, and how impressed were you with him?
Listen, this has been my guy, and I was saying it in group chats, and I said, listen, when the Charlos are on, they are on, and some of the best guys. And I feel like the biggest adjustments for me, what I saw was I think he was more patient, but he had more output. Normally he likes to, be very efficient with his punches, but I think this time it was more like he learned from his last fight. Do not go in there on a thing of you're going to just put him away with 1 or 2 punches. Like, no, this guy is durable and will stay in the pocket. And I think it was scaring me the first few rounds because it was kind of like he was fighting in Brian Castaño's range, which was frustrating me because Charlo would hit him on the end of his punches in his long range. But then when it came to like middle or short range, that's Castaño's world. He loves a big, good scrap. And I feel like up until maybe the 6th or 7th round, it was going towards Castaño. Don't get me wrong, it was highly contested round, but I was siding with Castaño a bit. But the mid-fight adjustment by Charlo, and I think Derek James, I remember there was one round break where he was very animated. I think he just got through to Charlo, fight your fight. And that's when Charlo started using his jab again. That jab was a thing of beauty last night. He was firing at range. And he was doing this thing of whenever Castaño will come into his range, like when he tries to do like the infighting, he might hit him with an uppercut or a hook, but then he disengages and come out. And I think that's what was missing from the first fight, where I think Charlo is such a competitor that he's kind of like, I want to beat you at your game as well. And I think this time he just learned that you could fight his game, but fight your own. And I feel like that was a big thing this fight. And man, Charlo showed people why he's one of the best in the world. Lions only. And to all the critics out there, have some of that.
And just on the screen here, you see the knockdown punch itself and how Charlo actually took down Castaño there. Twice in the 10th round. I guess for me, what I was going to say to you is, once he went down in the 10th, did you kind of just think, yeah, that's it, it's done? Or did you think there could be that second win that we normally see from boxers?
Nah, the writing was on the wall. I think I even saw Andre Ward get upset because he feels like the ref should have stopped it after that first knockdown, because Brian Castaño was clearly wobbled. It was a good inside left hook by Charlo because he really caught him through his guard. And Brian Castaño has a very good guard on the inside, and Charlo found a way to just like sneak that hook just around his right hand, and then boom, caught him clean. Castaño went down, and credit to Castaño because that guy, the fight in him to get up, like he did not want to go down easily. But credit to Charlo as well. I remember there was, I think, might be in the 7th round as well, when he had Castaño wobbled, but he was very patient. I think the old Charlo would have went in there rushing, trying to get the finish, but he was very patient, and then he cooked him. And I think this time, when he dropped him in the 10th round, I think Charlo just knew that, yo, I've got this guy now. And what a finish and what a fight. Listen, credit to Castaño. That was a very back and forth. And you can see in the post-fight interview how Charlo was just looking at Castaño like, yeah, you bought the best out of me.
Yeah. Two things I want to touch on quickly then. Is one, the fight being free on PBC. Were you on the PBC YouTube page for the UK?
Yeah.
You shocked that when you heard about that, considering what Showtime, what PBC is in terms of all the events being on pay-per-view, constantly having to pay for it. And then 2, Actually, let's just take to that point. Were you kind of surprised that this was free on YouTube?
I feel like with it's a weird one because I feel like PBC in the UK for whatever reason hasn't like in recent years. I feel like they should have a better TV deal here. So obviously sometimes it's a case of you have to get Fight TV and you have to get a pay-per-view. You know, a few years back, I remember for my friend's birthday, was watching Errol Spence against Mikey Garcia on ITV. And for a stable that PBC has, for some of the fights that they have, why the hell is it not on like no major UK outlet? That confuses me. I would have thought at least by now BT would have picked them up because, yeah, I get BBC have sins of the past where they put on some terrible fight cards, but one thing I will say of late, they have been putting on excellent fights. And this particular division of 154 has always been killer, no filler. And I feel like that's why Jermel also deserves more credit because from Jared Hurd to J-Rock to Tony Harrison to Castaño, Charlo himself, you got Zoo coming up, you got Fedora, who's Lubin as well, who Charlo beat on his way to getting these belts. This is a killer division that Jermel has really gone through, and I don't feel like commercially he has got enough credit for what he's done. And I feel like now give Jermel Charlo his flowers. He's a very polarizing figure, very intense person, but man, when it comes to fight, he's a fighter, and there's no one can take that away from him.
I was gonna say, just speaking on the card, there is going to be another video we are going to bring out very soon, and that's about a special welterweight as well, who was on the card, Jerome Boots as well, Jerome Boots Ennis. So just watch out for that one as well. Now, sticking on Charlo, now that you've got all the belts at 154, firstly, I think people need to understand how historic of an accomplishment that is, considering he's the first person to do this in the 4-belt era. What does he do going forward when it comes to this? Does he wait on some of the guys at 147 to come up? And then we have mega fights, especially considering who we speak about on PBC or potentially could be on PBC.
Yeah.
There's many fights there if he can hang around and if they make that move to 154. Or does he then look at, right, I've done it, I've completed it, time for me to possibly move up as well?
I think there's like good fights for him at 154, and I feel like until his brother moves up, he's cool with chilling at 154. There's excellent fights from Fundora, who had a big fight against Lubin just last month or so. Then obviously there's Costa Sue's son as well. That's ready on the wings. I apologize because I've forgotten his first name, but Costa Sue's son is also on the wing. I think he's mandatory for one of his titles. And listen, if it happens with Errol Spence and Crawford somehow manages to get through Errol Spence, there is that big fight where obviously Jermel Charlo and Errol Spence are stable mates. Jermel Charlo has not had the nicest of things to say about Crawford, and Crawford has spoken with big smoke saying, listen, I'm going to smoke Errol Spence and I'm going to come up to 154 and smoke you. So listen, I think this is the best time for Jermel to build up his profile because he is coming to that point where he deserves to be a pay-per-view star. This guy, for a lot of people, for a lot of criticism that PBC has had over the years, Jermel Charlo has undoubtedly faced the best in his division, taken the belts from the best of his division, and knocked them out as well. So all that chat about Jermel Charlo needs to end. That's like criticizing him. You can dislike him as a person. He's very polarizing. I get that he can be intense at times, but when it comes to him being a fighter, he is top notch and needs the recognition. And now he's undisputed.
And with that, we are going to wrap up today's little quick video, just recapping. Obviously, yesterday's big PBC fight. As always, if you are enjoying the content and you like the new rebrand, you know what to do. Go onto the YouTube page at STAYWEIGHEDIN. Why not hit that like button, share and subscribe. Hit up all our social media platforms as well. It's just changed a little bit. It's just now known as STAYWEIGHEDIN. And
STAYWEIGHEDIN.
Just quickly as well, in terms of we're going through that as well. We talked about the fact that there's only been 7 people. In that, you have Usyk, Bernard Hopkins, Jermaine Taylor, Terence Crawford, Josh Taylor and Canelo Alvarez and now Charlo, before we do wrap up, putting yourself in that illustrious category, surely now we talked about the respect. He gets that little bit more respect now from, do you even think the casuals? Or is that
undeniable? I think the casuals, that's, like I said, he's very polarizing. And it's a case of you don't have to like him, but you have to respect him. And like I said, that division right there, he has got a lot of scalps on there of top fighters. You can say what you want of like PBC fighters of the past that have had sins of facing guys that they shouldn't have. Jermel Charlo has faced some of the best in that division. He has got quite the resume. So all that Charlo chat that you might have had from him in the past, dead that right now. He's the guy, and give him congratulations. 154 undisputed champ, Lions only.
And with that, that's another wrap up of the Weigh In podcast. Stay Weighed In podcast. Again, like I said before, appreciate you, Ray, for always coming out. And guys,
love as always.
A little special video that we do have about a very special welterweight that you have mentioned in the past, Jaron Ennis, Boots Ennis. That's coming out very, very soon as well. Thank you for coming on, as always, Ray. I know we always have these late nights, but
this was worth it.
It's just part of it, isn't it? But yeah, final words from you.
Listen, people, hashtag STAYWEIGHEDIN, STAYWEIGHEDIN on all socials, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, on YouTube, all one word, STAYWEIGHEDIN. We'll meet you at the scales.
And with that, another episode of the Stay Weighed In podcast. Peace and love as always, guys.
Love, love, love.